The learning target that we're going to continue discussing in this video is using the law of sines and cosines to solve non-right triangles. In the triangle down here, 40 degrees is the angle that's given. We don't know angle B. It's not given as a 90-degree angle, so we can't use the trig ratios we talked about in previous lessons. So we have to use something called the law of sines or cosines. And I'll hide myself here. If you click on sides, it'll take you back to this slide. And ultimately, law of cosines, there's a long proof for it. Google it if you're really bored and you want to watch it and study it. In the end, just kind of memorize it. It's set up, at least solving for a side. The law of cosines is set up. It's like Pythagorean theorem and trigonometry got mismatched together. And then law of cosines for a missing angle, it's very, ultimately, all the operations get inversed there. So go back to that slide if you need to look that information up. The idea is if we have a side length of 20, an included angle of 40 degrees, and another side length of 25, we have side angle side congruency, which means only one triangle with certain side lengths of C and measurements of angle A and B can exist. So because of that, we can set up the law of cosines. And ultimately, A and B are 20 and 25. The order you put them in doesn't matter. It's commutative property of addition, but you need to be doing a 20 squared and a 25 squared and adding them and getting 1025. Use a calculator because that's not simple. And then 2 times A times B, so 2 times 20 times 25, make sure it's a negative. You'll get negative 1000. And then getting cosine of 40. This is where I'll split screen us and jump to my calculator. You're going to type in 40 first. Need to maximize the calculator. I'm going to hit cosine. Make sure you're in degree mode. Radian mode bad, degree mode good. You get 0.76604. And now if I take that number, I need to be multiplying it by 1000, a negative 1000. That gets me the negative 76.04. And then I need to add that to the 1025. So I get 258.956 if I round to the nearest thousandth. And the last part is square rooting that to cancel out the square. So I hit the square root button and I got 16.092. So that is the side length. And if I round that to the nearest thousandth, or nearest hundredth, excuse me, you get 16.09. If you round it to the nearest tenth, you get 16.1. So just like Pythagorean theorem, if you want to speed all that up, you know that to cancel out the square, all that stuff has to be inside a square root. Now finding a missing angle, and sorry, the picture's a little blurry there. I'll see if I can update that a little bit. But the idea is, all right, I got the 16.09. It's opposite of 40 degrees. So I got C degrees. I got little side C. I'm going to set up law of sines with the angles in the top because I don't know the angle measurement at A, but I know it's opposite 20. So I'm going to take that 16.092, I'm going to eventually divide by it. So I want to do in my calculator first sine of, let's split screen this again. I need to know the sine of 40. So I'm going to type in 40. I'm going to hit sine. And I want to cross multiply that with the 20 there. So I hit times 20. And then I want to divide that by the 16.092. Ideally, you copy and paste because that's going to eliminate all rounding error. And you get about 0.7988, which rounds to which the rounding of that doesn't matter. And the last part, going back here, now I want to inverse sine, the opposite of sine. So I'm going to hit A sine, and you get 53.02. Go back and finish things up in the slide and show that we're checking our answers. You can set things up with law of sines to find angle B, or you can also just subtract from 180. And at the end, make sure all your answers make sense. The angles need to add up to 180 degrees. They do. And the smallest angle should be opposite the smallest side. It is 16.092, and 40 degrees are opposite. The medium angle should be opposite the medium side. 53.02 degrees is opposite the side length of 20, and the biggest angle should be opposite the biggest side. Hope this video helps. I know it's a little rushed. If you need to, pause it, go back and check out more.